Hi, I'm Jim.
And I'm Becca.
And we are professional Englishists.
So what is a professional Englishist?
Well, Englishist is a term that I came up with. Actually, I came up with it while I was working on my resume. Because in order to describe myself, I had no word except English major, which I just hated. And I just always thought it was kind of unfair that, like, no matter what we did, you know, unless we're describing a job that we did, we're just always English majors forever, even when we get out of school. And it just seemed like unfair comparatively. Like, you know, people with a physics degree are physicists, people with a biology degree are biologists, and even if you have a history degree, you're historians. So I just thought Englishist sounded better and seemed a little more fair, even though English major does sort of describe our job prospects after we get out of school. So Englishist, I thought it would be better. And we both have English degrees, and I'm working on my master's degree. I'm almost done, and Becca has a master's in English. And so, you know, I figure we're professional Englishists.
Yeah.
So, what should our viewers expect in this channel?
Well, actually, that is up to you. Our goal for this channel, or our hopes for this channel, is that we will be responding to viewer questions about topics such as grammar, writing, literature, literary analysis, even things like what's it like to be a TA, what can I do in my classroom, maybe solving some classroom problems. So yeah, we're really hoping that this will be very interactive and that we can respond to what you want to hear. And up until then, we have plenty of our own content that we can add.
Yeah, to get a little more in depth into those sort of aspects of the channel, like if we're doing a sort of literary analysis lesson, then we might just read a book together with our viewers, like, for example, Tithe by Holly Black, which we both read and enjoy, and is a sort of fun and easy read, but also has a lot of depth to it, and so there's a lot to talk about. Not that all literature doesn't have something to talk about, but
we can talk about anything.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's sort of what we're trying to do. Or maybe The Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling, which neither of us have read, and both want to, and is a little bit more adult from what I understand, but would be fun to read through with our viewers. And I imagine if we were to do that type of thing, if it was a sort of literary analysis video, then we might break it over the course of like 3 weeks or something like that, and give people just like chapter goals to get to, and then we'd talk about that. So that would be good. And then when it comes to things like grammar issues, we both have grammar pet peeves, and I'm sure that you do as well. One of my major ones is the misuse of good and well. It's one of those things that I have to really restrain myself to correct my friends every time that they say things like, I did really good, you know, I wrote this really good, or I'm doing really good at this game. And I'm just like, no, you're doing well at the game. But I don't say that because then I sound like a pretentious prick. Well,
I'm also dealing with a lot of ESL students right now. Dealing with, that sounds bad. I'm teaching a lot of ESL students right now. I'm getting my second master's in teaching English as a second language. So a lot of grammar questions and problems come up that we don't necessarily think about. For example, the adverbial conjunction, like however. My students have been using however for everything, not just when they want to contradict what came before it. So if they're tasting two agreeing statements, they'll say, oh, however, and then agree with themselves, which gets really awkward. So I have to learn and think of new ways to present grammar content to ESL learners.
Yeah, and I think even, you know, native English speakers have those issues sometimes. I know I've had students who've misused however, and, you know, so hopefully we could help everyone when it comes to things like that. And I think the important thing, at least for our purposes, is that we teach you why these are the correct ways to do things. Why do we have these rules? Because I think that a lot of our English education throughout high school and even through the beginning of college is about what the rules are, how do we use these things, and not why. And I think that people learn better with whys. People learn better when they have reasons, when it doesn't seem so random. Because I think that if it's just like, you know, oh, you use well, when you say like, I'm doing, right, I'm doing well. You use well when you're describing a verb, and you use good when you're describing a noun. Or you might know that well is an adverb and good is an adjective, but you know, why is it that that's the way things are? And so I think that if we break it down and explain the whys, maybe you'll have an easier time learning those concepts.
Yeah, putting grammar in context is always good for everyone.
Right.
And we're also big nerds and we love breaking it down and talking about these things.
Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have degrees in these things. So.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there'll be lots of slice of life stuff. You know, lots of stories about even just being an English student. I have plenty of stories about you know, classes I took and papers that we wrote.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's the other thing. Like, we might talk about how to write a paper, you know, which is something that is very difficult to do, and we have a lot of experience doing, and even we have a lot of hard times with it. So. Yeah,
and as someone who grades papers, we've both graded papers. We know what teachers are looking for, so we can help you develop your paper in a very academic style that will please your teacher.
Right, so on that topic, if you have any questions about maybe a class you're taking or just something you're confused about, ask, and hopefully, you know, maybe we'll make a video about it. If you get in early, there's not a whole lot of competition for questions, so you're almost guaranteed they'll make a video about it.
Wide open. We also have experience having to stand in front of a classroom. And so I know a lot of new TAs ask questions about, you know, how do I make the class listen to me? What do I do if students are late? How do I get their attention? So we can answer questions about how to make your lesson plans engaging and just sort of like how to set aside some of the fear you might have if you're a new teacher.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, I'll put our contact info below, and you can leave questions and comments. You can contact us directly via Twitter or Tumblr, or maybe some other means. I don't know. And I'll probably make a Tumblr for this channel, so you can just follow that. If you liked the video, please click like, and if you want to see more of this, click subscribe. Until next week, we'll see you later.
Bye.